Today, we're going to talk about goals, and then next week on the next episode, we're going to talk about planning because they go hand in hand. So, what I would love to chat to you about today, as I said, is goals. This would be goals and planning would be the two out of the top three topics that people come to me and say, I'm no good at this. The first one would obviously be profit, and they're not great at making a profit. And goals and planning are 2 and 3. So we're going to cover those off. So what I hear most is, why plan when it doesn't happen anyway? Nothing, why set goals? Nothing sticks anyway. So why bother? Let's save our energy and do something else instead. The second frustration that I hear is, I've never really set goals before. I don't know where to start. And the third thing I hear is that people are really afraid what other people think of them if they start setting goals and achieving those goals for themselves. But what I want you to have a think about is what is possible if you were able to set those goals, firstly, and then what's possible if you're able to even achieve, not even all of them, but just some of those goals. So what I'd love you to have a think about is, if you set goals, you are far more likely to achieve them. You are far more likely to have clarity around your business and to have a much, much better understanding of what you need to do to be able to help you to achieve those goals. You can start creating goals now. You don't have to have a perfect set of goals. They don't have to be 10 goals that are in 1, 3, 5, 10 years and so on and so forth. They can simply be, I want to do X by Friday. Start little is what I always talk to my clients about. And for me, with our goals, it doesn't matter what other people think about our goals. It is none of our business what they think about our goals. And I really, really want to highlight here, please stop worrying about what other people will think of us, because that is holding you in a place in your business that is generally not good for your health. It's not good for your physical health, your mental health. It's not good for your business. It's not good for your family. Can we please try and start not giving a shit about what other people think about our goals? Now, it doesn't mean we have to be a complete bastard about it, but we just need to stop letting other people's opinions of our goals stop our growth. So what I want to talk to you about today, there's just 3 really simple points to get started when we're talking about goals. The first step that you need to do is just sit down with a piece of paper, your iPad, your computer, whatever works for you, and just dream about what goals you would like in your business. Now, yes, there's all the financial goals. I want to turn over this amount of money. I want to have this much profit, and so on and so forth. They are super important. But where I like to start is the goals around for you personally. Now, if you've listened to me before, you would have heard me say that I want to build businesses for us that we run, and not that the business runs us, because that is not fun. And I don't want to do that. And I don't want my clients to do that. So what I want you to do firstly is just sit down and have a think about, just dream about what your goals are from a personal perspective are. That is where I like to start. Now, that could be that you need X amount of money from as personal income, because you might want to buy investment properties. You might want to take overseas holidays. You might want to spend 4 weeks traveling around New South Wales or your state, or you might want to have 3 months where you go traveling. You might want to buy a boat, a bike, a caravan. You might want to send your kids to a private school. You might have kids who are doing rep sport of some description, and that costs you a chunk of money. Have a think of all of those personal things, all those personal goals that you want to achieve, and let's start there. And then we will work backwards and work out what the business needs to provide you. It could be that you want to do, a 4-day work week. Lots of businesses I know are moving to a 4-day work week. They're working longer hours for 4 days so they can have long weekends. Some are doing half-day Fridays. I've got a number of clients who I work with who will finish at 3 o'clock so they can pick up their kids, or they start late on a Friday so they can take their kids to, swimming or school drop off or whatever it may be. So really sit down down and have a think about what are all those things that you think, that'd be nice to do, but we never really put pen to paper and commit to anything. Now, the second thing I want you to do is go through that list and just kind of highlight or number what's the super important ones for you right now. Just, 2 or 3 of those, because what I find is if we have a look at that list and it's long, it can get really overwhelming and then we do nothing. And we want to get started on at least one or two of these goals at the moment. So for example, in my businesses, education and training for myself is the most important thing in my business, even ahead of customer service. Customer service is a very, very close second, but education and training is the most important, because for me to be able to give excellent customer service to my clients, I need to make sure that I am at the forefront of all the changes and updates, not only with Profit First, but also within business and bookkeeping, obviously. And to be able to do that, I need to prioritize that. Otherwise, if I don't prioritize that, then my clients are not getting the best that they need, and I'm not able to provide the best services that they need. So for me, that is education. So I need to have goals around that. I need to plan for what education I'm going to do over the course of the year and how much that is going to cost me. And then I need to map that out. And I'll talk more about that in next week's episode. So I want you to just kind of have a look at that list and decide what's the top 1 or 2 goals on that list that you want to start working towards today. And then the third thing, just rough out a really shitty first draft of what those goals look like. So it could be, you might have said, okay, I want to save for a caravan. Great. I want to know roughly how much that's going to cost. I want to know roughly what type of van that is. Just start putting some details around that in a shitty first draft so we can get started on it. It doesn't need to be perfect. You just need to start. Now, keep in mind, you don't have to flash these across your website or tell it to all your mates or whatever it may be. This can just be for you to get started with. This is the one step that I work with all my clients on, the very first thing we do, because I want to know what's behind the business. Why are we doing business? What do we want to achieve from a personal perspective? And the goals is the place to start. So the 3 points I wanted to cover off, just to recap: sit down, let yourself dream, write out all those things from a personal perspective that you would love. The second thing I want you to do, decide and declare what's important. So have a look at that list. What's the 1 or 2 top most important things for now? And they may not be the most important for you down the track, but for now, what are they? And then thirdly, you rough out your shitty first draft of those first 2 points. So what does that look like? As I use the example of the caravan, whether it's, a 4-day week, what is that going to look like? And what I would love you to do is email me, katie@profitfirstfortradies.com.au. In the subject line, put goals, share your goals with me, and I'm happy to give you some feedback on those. As I said, I do this all the time with all of my clients. It is one of the most fun things I do with my clients, because I love helping clients really uncover what's possible in the business. And if we don't have goals, we are constantly going to feel like we are just kind of, stepping our way through the dark, and we don't know where we're trying to go. And that can cause huge amounts of stress and huge amounts of issues within the business itself. So even if goals haven't been super exciting for you and it's not been something you've thought you're very good at or you've ever needed before, I really, really encourage you to just take 5 minutes and rough out some goals. Send me an email, subject line goals, and I will get super excited for you and happily give you some feedback on that.